you're beautiful, you're capable, you're intelligent, you're the baddest, you are strong, you are worthy, you deserve success. I want you to say this together with me. I am comfortable with big success. I am comfortable with thriving. I am iconically evolving to become the highest motherfucking version of myself.
1, 2, 3.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite YouTuber, the spiritual bad bitch. My name is Anila Sita. If you're new here, then welcome. And if you're back, then welcome back. And thank you so much for returning to my channel and continuing to bring the vibes. And of course, thank you to me for continuing to bring the vibes. Yes, as you can tell, I'm wearing a wig today because, you know, my hair is still very short and I've been getting into wig installations. If you're into that kind of stuff too, then go on my Instagram because I'm gonna be posting videos of me installing wigs like I have done recently. All right, so today's video is gonna make you feel very inspired. It's gonna make you feel like all of my videos, like you can do anything you want to do, like you can accomplish your dreams. I'm here to give you the hacks of how you're gonna level up and really step into your highest timeline. You know, I've been going through so much this year. It's really felt like some type of preparation into the new and evolved spiritual bad bitch. I've been finding my way back to myself, and I really feel recently like I've entered this era of I'm getting everything I want. Life is so damn easy for me. Why is everything falling into place? And so of course I wanted to give you that energy. So what I want to do with this video is first I'm going to talk a little bit and I just want to share some stuff with you, kind of give you some realness, some things that I've been learning from my life, because I find that talking about real life things with no shame really helps people see themselves and learn in their life, you know what I'm saying? And then after, I am going to show you my routine, because my routine, I feel, at night and in the morning has really contributed to this, and I just felt like I can't make this video without actually going into the routine. All right, so to start this video, I kind of wanted to share like a little life update, something that I became very aware of ever since I started on YouTube. And this is really gonna apply to anyone who wants to create a successful life for themselves. Something I've come across is a concept that is called the upper limit. It's something I read in a book that is based on a psychologist, where he was saying that we are only used to a certain level of success, happiness, and if we exceed that and we're not used to that success and wealth and happiness, we're gonna sabotage to get right back down to the level where we feel most comfortable. And I really feel like this has been happening to me ever since I started on YouTube, because you have to understand it this way. When I started on YouTube, I was getting no views. I was not popping off. I really didn't think that this was gonna be for me. And then it seemed as if overnight that I blew up. I blew up in one summer. I think it was 2021. You wanna know what? Ever since that summer, ever since that time, I have been in a major blockage, like just feeling like paralyzed. And it's so strange because I was manifesting for my success to happen, but clearly my upper limit was way further down, and I wasn't accustomed to being seen by so many people and having such success. And then of course, when I launched my first meditation, which was really like the birth of my business on YouTube, I started to notice there were more blocks. Something that I really want to give you is the understanding that you have to prepare yourself and feel comfortable with success before it can come into your life. And this is the thing, right? If it comes into your life before you're comfortable with that and you're ready for that, you are going to sabotage it. And I feel like that's what I've done. To me, my sabotage has been not showing up on YouTube. It's like huge lack of discipline and really feeling like I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to have this success, this platform, this money, whatever the case may be. And this whole year, it's been a gradual like stepping into that and really getting comfortable with success and really telling myself daily affirmations of I deserve big success. I am worthy of big success. I am comfortable with big success. And see, this is the thing that I've really been noticing this year is you can't just snap out of a rut. You have to go through it. Like the only way to really go through something is to go through it and to feel it all the way through. And that's been this year for me. I've literally only returned back to myself and the bad bitch that I usually am in November, which is like what? From this point that I'm recording this video, it's like 3-4 weeks ago. Something else I really wanted to talk about, don't worry, like we're gonna get into different things. I got my notes here on my iPad, different things like regarding really leveling up and entering that in my getting everything I want era. I just want you to feel like you do deserve success, that you are worthy of it, and you do deserve to get everything you want. And if that's not happening for you, then like for me this year, this whole year just felt so resistant and so like, why are things so shit? Why are things not going the way that I want them to go? I suffered a lot with my confidence too. But see, that's the healing journey, and that's the shadow work needed in order to integrate your new upgraded self, your new highest self. Something I really wanted to talk about in this video too is money. You guys know this year I have been showing up more on my YouTube, being honest about my finances, because bitch, like I really think as women we don't talk about this shit enough, and we need to be more transparent. And more money, like it will not solve your problems. I was recently reading this book called Get Rich, Lucky Bitch. In this book she talked about famous stories of celebrities who got a lot of money from some type of, I don't know, record deal or a song suddenly blowing up, but they had that money and then were way too generous with it, spent it on stupid shit, and had to declare bankruptcy again at some point. And you know what? That story always teaches me so much, because you can see that having money will not change you if you deep down have a poverty mindset, a lack mindset. For those of you who have been on my channel, you know I love to talk about the abundance mindset, which is the concept that there is more than enough to go around for all of us, and abundance is your birthright. Like the simplest way I could explain it is, if you cut a tomato, you're gonna have a bunch of seeds that come out of that tomato that you can plant to make more tomatoes. And money functions in the same way, but a lot of us have been conditioned from an early age to think of money as something scarce. And so it leads us to be in this rat race in our mind of always thinking we don't have enough and there's a limited resource of money. So we either get greedy with it, or we don't even want to look at it. We're not responsible with it. We don't want to confront it. It's very, very fascinating to me. I'm gonna give you like some personal shit right now. I still notice how I feel weird talking about money on social media, but I'm gonna do it because I know what I'm gonna share is gonna help people. So I have noticed that I have found myself in a cycle that keeps repeating with my finances, and I'll tell you the cycle right now because maybe you identify with it. My cycle is this: I end up launching some type of product through my business, and then I earn a big chunk of money from launching that, and I take a break for like 6-7 months where I just kind of do whatever the fuck I want to do, but I don't manage my money responsibly. I kind of just let it run out, and then when it runs out, I come up with some other idea to make money, and then I launch something else and I make money, and it literally repeats. And I'll be honest with you, like my income, especially like with YouTube, it's not been consistent. It's different every month. So I've had this pattern of repeatedly overspending, also having low-key a shopping addiction in the past, which is like another topic, but that's just like me spending to not feel whatever emotion I'm going through at the time. I really asked myself this year, and this is going to be a question that I feel is really going to help you, and it's one that I always use when I'm finding myself stuck. And the question is, what is holding me back from being the most successful version of myself? What is holding me back from being the wealthiest version of myself? Because you know, in this book, Get Rich Lucky Bitch, she says you need to get accustomed to the idea that you are what a wealthy woman looks like. So if you ask yourself, what does a wealthy woman look like? Probably some type of polished image comes to mind, but it doesn't have to be that. You right now sitting on the other side of the screen, exactly the way that you're looking, exactly the way that you're dressed, is the way that a wealthy woman looks. And so I've been really playing with this concept, like, okay, if me, the way that I am right here, right now, is already a wealthy woman, already the way a wealthy woman looks, why am I not there yet? What's stopping me from reaching that point? And this really started the inner work for me around money. And I started realizing one day, I'm afraid that if I make a lot of money, I'm gonna be abandoned and I'm gonna be left alone. And this comes from an abandonment wound inside myself from my childhood, and also the images and the stories that I witnessed around wealth. So my father was always very up and down with his finances. I saw him pretty much magically make a shitload of money appear with business deals, but then I also saw him spend a lot of it and not be smart with it. And this is not me criticizing, like, you know, he's on his own path and I'm not judging that, but just it made me aware of why I perceive that. My dad also had situations in his life where he was screwed over by people, and he was often in beautiful big apartments but very alone. And you know what? This aloneness had nothing to do with money. It was just a consequence of the way that he behaved with people. Basically his own shit that made that reality true for him. But me, being a child observing this, how am I going to understand that that's just a consequence of his behavior and not equate it to money? It pretty much dictated what stories I would associate with wealth. And I really want you to ask yourself in your life, like with anything, right? Even if it's not about money, any area of your life where you want to level up or you're finding yourself stuck, like I said, ask yourself, what's holding me back? That question to me was like when I finally realized that my fear of abandonment is the reason why I've kept myself from making more money. I've sabotaged myself by not going into certain opportunities. I got scared. I didn't trust myself. You know, like a lot of that is just always tied to trauma, inner child stuff. If you don't learn, it's gonna loop. Everything that you don't confront in your life is just gonna keep looping around. If you want to break out of a cycle, like especially when it comes to poverty, there's a lot of, you know, anxiety, there's a lot of trapped emotions around money. And the way that you really heal that is just by sitting with it. You know, I've said this many times, but healing, all it is confronting your emotions and being honest about them. And you do that either by sitting with it yourself and not running from it, or you talk to somebody, or you journal, but you really want to confront and you really want to look at how certain things make you feel. And something I just wanted to say, right, like coming back to that whole thing of having more money would solve all my problems. I was recently rewatching a show called Breaking Bad, which I love, and there's one episode where this guy, this character called Ted Beneke in the show, he had massive tax debt. Like he owed the IRS over 600 grand. And then in the show, this woman who really wants to help him, Skylar, she sends him anonymously the money that he would need in order to pay his taxes. And you know what this motherfucker does? Instead of going to pay his taxes with that money that was gifted to him through the universe in his eyes, because he wasn't aware that it was that woman trying to help him, he goes and buys himself a Mercedes. And when I saw that, it made me almost feel weird in my body, because I was like, that's the pattern that I grew up around. I grew up around adults who were very irresponsible and didn't handle their tax stuff well. Me now, personally, I'm gonna be honest with you again, just like being honest about my finances. I actually do have to pay this tax bill. And you know what's so fucking strange is that I technically have the money to pay for it, but I'm finding myself doing what that character in the show did, which is like buying other shit and not doing that because I don't want to look at it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be responsible. There's like a part of me, my inner child is rebelling because of the way that I had to be so responsible as a kid, and now I'm an adult and I just want to live out this childhood that I never had right now, which means irresponsibility with my finances. And as soon as I saw that in the show, something rang in my mind and I was just like, you are gonna call the tax people and you're gonna put down a payment and you're gonna set up a payment plan and you're gonna do this shit responsibly. You're gonna get yourself out of this mess because this is for future you. You have to take care of her right now. You don't want to be like that Ted Beneke guy in the show. And I feel like for me, I have this underlying belief system that I am not gonna have enough money and I'm gonna run out, so I'm gonna hold on to my money and spend it on the things I want right now, and I'm not gonna pay the tax because I won't have enough for it. And I really had to check myself when I noticed these thoughts, and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable because I like teach these things on YouTube and I talk about abundance, and yet here I am finding myself in a pattern that is very much lack, very much poverty consciousness. But you know, I'm working my way through it, and I'm really hoping that by me talking about it, it's gonna help you too, you know? This is not just for money, but for anything in your life. Being non-confrontational with your wounds, with the shit that you need to confront in order to level up to the next level, it's gonna keep you stuck. Like, the purpose of life to me is really growth. Literally, let my words inspire you and give you the courage to face the shit that you don't want to face in your life. Because when we go on the other side of fear, when we really look at what we don't want to look at, that's where the next level up happens. It doesn't happen when you're just wishfully even manifesting, truthfully. Like, we're gonna get into my manifestation routine and what I do every day to really ensure that while I'm doing this inner work and while I'm feeling out these difficult emotions and they're coming to the surface, you then want to reframe it. And the way that I reframe it is by listening to affirmations. You know what? Whenever I get this anxiety feeling in my body of thinking I don't have enough money or I'm gonna run out, I literally just go into the default affirmations that I've been listening to every day, and I'll just go, more than enough money is in my bank account. I have more than enough money. I will always have more than enough money. I am provided for. I'm in my feminine energy, so I trust. I will attract all the money that I need. I have more money than I know what to do with. I'm really tuning into that and constantly telling myself it, even when I'm struggling to believe it, doing it over and over and over and over. And also, you know, I've been in therapy this whole year, for those of you, you know, who know. That's a really big important part too, is allowing those things to come out of your body. You may have to cry. You may get really upset. Sometimes shit will happen in your life that will seem really awful when it's happening, and you're like, why is this happening to me? And it's really just the universe triggering those emotions to come up so that they can be released. That's it. Literally in October was like the confrontational month for me, where I was getting parking tickets left and right. I was getting random fees, things that never happened to me, like losing my AirPods, had to buy a new set of AirPods. And I really had this realization that it's all feeding into the narrative that is underneath it all. Your life will show you exactly what you think about yourself and what you think about the world. And it will check you, and it will make you aware that if you have negative beliefs over yourself or your life or your money or your career or whatever, your relationship, it will amplify that. If you're not careful, you will look at it and you will go, the universe hates me. Universe is not on my side. I never get what I want. My life sucks. And that's where you really have to be going into that awareness and be like, let me just pause. Let me just pause. Why is this shit triggering me so much? I noticed when I got parking tickets and I fucking was crying in the car, I thought to myself, why is this triggering me so much? And I'm like, right, because it's triggering the wound of always feeling like there's not gonna be enough. Do you get what I'm saying? So really look at the things in your life as divine lessons. And the more you see it that way, you will overcome shit real fast. Like, it just won't get to you. It won't get to you in the same way anymore. But it's really about, you know, I think having self-acceptance too, because I think looking back at this year and like how tough it was for me in a lot of moments, I just think that it would have been a lot easier if I would have told myself, look, this is temporary. These situations are not permanent. I am going to be okay. You know what? I'm finding myself in a shit period. Let me just sit back. Let me just relax. I don't need to be all go, go, go in this period of my life if that's not how I feel. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like shit, you're feeling stagnant, stay with it. Accept it. Be there with it. And I promise you, the quicker that you can just ease into that and even romanticize it, enjoy it, you will feel significantly better. Like, you know, leveling up is a process, and you should not feel guilty or ashamed of wherever you're finding yourself in your life. I really just want to infuse you with light and bring you love and bring you acceptance and bring you understanding of how I was able to kind of get out of that shit. And I feel like I haven't even fully like talked about how I got out of it, but the main way that I got out of it is by implementing certain things in my routine, which I'm gonna show you right now, literally what I do at night. So at night, I will literally listen to a meditation. I meditate every night if I can, and I'll usually do something that has to do with unconditional love, opening the heart space, because I've noticed that I can quickly live in my ego, and I've really been learning to keep my heart open. It's made my relationships better, it's made my creativity better, it's made me accept myself so much more ever since I've been like opening my heart up. I also just want to say, if you have not tried my dark feminine meditation yet that I launched recently, that one will really help with tapping into unconditional love. It will be in the description box, the link to my website, which has like all sorts of different meditations, but just that one particularly, the dark feminine, really taps into healing the shame and, you know, opening your heart. So that's usually what I'll do at night. Then when I wake up in the morning, straight away I'll go and do my makeup and I listen to affirmations, and I'll do this for 20 minutes. And then the next thing after doing my makeup is I will journal about anything that still feels uncomfortable in my body. So I'll go to a cafe and I'll sit there with my computer and I will type out everything that I feel is shit about my life, everything I don't like. I know that might seem counterproductive, especially if you want to be more positive and shit, but I've noticed like the way to be positive is to accept your negativity. And staying in this getting everything I want era is really about continuously feeding yourself inspiration and positivity. And truthfully, affirmations really do work. That's why I put them in all of my meditations as well, and why I love to use them, because even if you're feeling like shit and right in that moment that you're listening to it, you don't know if it's helping you, trust me, it is. Your subconscious is hearing that shit and it's going into it, and it's just gonna make you feel a lot better. So that's pretty much all I do when it comes to my routine. The very last thing I want to say about negative things happening in our life, I'm going to share something with you that they taught me at a retreat I went to in Bali, which like helped me so much. And essentially, I remember I went to this retreat because I had really bad period pain. I'm going to link the video in the description box if you want to see it about that retreat. But I remember one of the girls at the retreat asking me, you know, what are you getting out of your period pain? And I felt really insulted when she asked me that, because I'm like, what do you mean, what am I getting out of my period pain? Like, do you think I want this? Do you think that I want to be hurting every single month? And in actuality, it's like, no, it's true. If you're the creator of your reality, you really have to look at everything in your life and ask yourself, why are certain things being created? Why are you drawing in certain experiences? And I started asking myself, why am I drawing in period pain every single month? And I realized it was because I had this wound in my childhood of, you know, being neglected, never really feeling heard, never really getting a lot of attention. So my period was a way for me to get attention. I feel like I've clung to this period pain to receive that attention. And as soon as I acknowledge this, I've been noticing that the period pain has been lessening ever since I've gotten an understanding of the story that I have around it. So with anything in your life that you feel is repeating, ask yourself, what are you getting out of it? And I promise, if you just let that question sit in the cosmos, the answer will come to you. And it might be pretty simple. It's usually some type of trauma. And when you can acknowledge that, fucking change the story, like, dude, you've won. That's when things really start switching up. This was like a hella long video. I hope that by implementing these things, it will change your life. And thank you so much for staying all the way to the end of the video. I appreciate it so much. I hope to see you again soon. Sending you so much love and light.